afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Richard Massey with Civil Plus Structural Engineer Magazine, and I'm glad to present to you today Mr. Greg Laugeni. And Greg is the Technical Manager for North America for Sterling Lloyd Products at GCP Applied Technologies. Greg, how you doing today?
Richard, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Good. So tell us a little bit about your project and your program overall with this micro trenching, and give us the thumbnail description of what your technology is all about.
Well, micro trenching is emerging around the world. It's been growing and becoming more mainstream. GCP is a leading manufacturer of specialized construction products, and back in 2017, the company acquired Sterling Lloyd, which has had a 40-plus year track record in producing high, durable, sophisticated solutions to complex civil engineering problems throughout the globe. One of the things that came up was the requirement or the need for reinstatement of micro trenching. And in turn, the development of SafeTrack RMP 100, which is the micro trenching infill MTI, was developed specifically for the reinstatement of micro trenching for those needs. And throughout North America now, it's growing leaps and bounds as the chase to get 5G implemented is underway.
Okay, so this has a lot of application to the 5G effort.
5G and a lot of 4G is still being installed as they're perfecting 5G, and every major city, everybody wants faster, quicker, more complete internet services. And you're seeing it any time there's a major complex university, they're looking to upgrade, and then the cellular service is the same.
Okay, great. And so I would assume your task is to really get out there and let people know about this technology, and it really sounds like the ease of installation. Yeah,
that's one of the main key attributes for the SafeTrack product, is that its main thing is that it is a free-flowing, self-compacting material, but it's fast curing, which allows for the quicker return to service and less disruption to the traveling public. When microtrenching was first developed as a technique, a lot of time was spent developing methods for cleaning and efficiently cutting the narrow trenches. However, not much time was spent on the development of how to rapidly, efficiently, and effectively reinstate the excavated trench. As everyone knows, asphalt pavement deflection is under total vehicle loading, results in tensile and compressive stresses in the pavement structure. So the key is that the asphalt is constantly moving with both expansion and contraction from both freeze thaws and traffic loading. So you need the right amount of flexibility, durability, and bond strength of a product that's going to be lasting and to have the dimensional stability under traffic loads once reinstated.
Right, which is what this technology does.
Correct. It's a high performance thermosetting resin, which is cold liquid applied, can be applied down to 23 degrees in cold temperatures. One of the key attributes also is that it's not moisture sensitive. It doesn't shrink or expand. Has the ability to be weather and chemical resistant. It has an aggregate that's included into the high performance SLAC resin for skid resistance, and has great durability and bond strength, which usually exceeds the surrounding substrates.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. I was reading through your collateral, and it looks like Austin and New York, San Francisco are already using this product. Those are the usual suspects, the, progressive cities, that are always on the leading edge. But you just told me earlier before we started recording that you just made a presentation to Akron, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh.
Correct.
How'd that go, and what are those cities doing that would need this product?
There's a lot of communities, even private communities. The main thing with these cities is that they are all trying to, looking for an edge to help bring in more business and to grow their communities. It's not just major centers of population with big fiber demands. Because they're smaller, they may have different sets of challenges, but they still have a very keen eye for detail, and they want to make sure that their key infrastructures are restored properly. That's where we win, because a lot of these locations have used other materials on their bridges, on their superstructures, on their bike lanes, or on their roads and highways. We don't just sell one product. We have a full array of products that are used throughout many industries, but on the civil side. So we're not just a material supplier with just one product. We have a track record and real understanding of the importance of reliable materials and what they do, and do what we say they do. So the performance is the key for long-term success.
Sure. Well, what's the competition like out there for this niche? It's a niche product, but it's also a very important product with the build out that's going on. But what's the competition out there like, Mr. Laugeni?
Well, you see a lot of different products that are being tried and tested. Unfortunately, a number of them have failed, and it gives a black eye and makes a number of cities hesitant who are trying to push forward with some fiber optic installation programs. So you see people out there trying to install and with different types of products, whether it be carrying a concrete slurry all the way through the flexible pavement to the top, which at times can shrink and crack and allow the egress of water, and then break down. You see sometimes inexpensive hot bitumen crack fillers, which when in some locales, when it gets really hot, will become retackified or have poor long-term performance characteristics. Or you'll see people just try to put asphalt in some of these narrow micro trenches.
Oh,
and that doesn't always work also, because it just doesn't have enough surface area.
Sure. Well, so how, you're talking about the 5G build out. How extensive is that going to be, Mr. Laugeni?
For this fiber to the tower, fiber to the home, fiber to the business, with the growing demand from everything from wireless driven driverless cars to cellular service, and the push both from the federal government with rural broadband initiatives. Now there's funding from the federal government and a real push. So it's a big race, as they say, because they say that China is ahead of us on the 5G curve, and we need to keep up in order to compete on a global scale.
Right. So there's an element to this whole thing that's pretty profound, actually, in terms of the effect that it's going to have on the country and maybe even the global economy, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it seems like you have obviously a deep grasp of 5G and the installation thereof, the fiber optic, and getting back to this fill product that you're using. What do you tell cities like Akron and Cleveland and Pittsburgh when you're making a presentation to them?
Well, I tell them that these are your roadways, and though there's different types of products that can be used out there, you need something that's going to last and be durable. The cost to go back and the inconvenience to the traveling public to go back to do something twice far outweighs the initial installation. So you want to make sure you pick the right product for the right locale, and you want the durability of it that's going to be installed once, quickly and efficiently, so that the traveling public is minimally disruptive and that you can achieve the economic benefits from a fast, efficient deployment by the use of microtrenching. That's why it's growing in leaps and bounds, this type of method, because it increases the speed. Down in Dallas, we just did a install, and they did 17 locations in 3 days that would have normally taken them about 4 weeks with conventional trenching.
Oh, okay, right. So you're getting some good data there.
Yes, absolutely.
And you're in Pittsburgh right now. Where are you going to next? Where's the next presentation?
Next presentation's with the city of Chicago.
Oh,
representatives
wow.
there next week.
And what is Chicago looking to do?
They've got a large rollout that they wanted. They've already done some installations, and they're looking to try to increase their production and installation. But they also have had some unfortunate failures with some other products in the reinstatement side. So they'd like to discuss, our product and the success that we've had on not just in North America, but on a global scale. So when we talk to them about it, it all comes back to the same thing. They said most of the time they'll say it's all economically driven. Your high performance resin's a little more expensive than some other products on the market, but it's the best on the market and performs at a very high level.
Right. So it's better to spend a little money on the front end than it is to spend a ton of money on the back end.
Yeah, as they often say, you often get what you pay for.
Sure. Well, Mr. Laugeni, what else? You sound like you sound like a road warrior. What else before we conclude this interview?
I think it's an exciting time right now in the fiber optic industries for everyone. Like I said, to try to get this achieved, I'm excited to be part of the GCP family since the acquisition back in 2017 from Sterling Lloyd, and we're excited to be working in numerous cities throughout the country, and hopefully there'll be time to rest for the weary down the road.
Sure. Well, I appreciate you taking your time to speak with C+S Engineer today, Mr. Laugeni, and I wish you nothing but the best. And it sounds like your product is going to do great things for this country and the cities that are putting in upgrading their fiber optic networks.
Yeah, we are very excited about the growth of the SafeTracker RMP100, and we know that it brings great benefits to the municipalities and to the installers and to the fiber optic owners at the end of the day.
Okay, well, thanks for your time, and you have a great day, Mr. Laugeni.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
All
Thanks.
right, bye-bye.